Ladies and gentlemen, introducing a surprise party for Ann Walsh on her 80th birthday. And here we go. It's not her birthday, we know that. Her birthday is August 3rd. But we're having a surprise birthday party for Ann Walsh.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Sorry about the awkward moment, Mom.
It's all fun.
Happy early birthday. It's tough to surprise you.
I'm
Come on in. We're going to have you sit over there. It's Tom's birthday, too. We're at the, kind of looking at, Tom went through kind of a rugged period. He was the captain of our ship, or was he? He had it going on at some point in time. He had it going on at some point in time, and of course then we had Ann. Okay, this is Ann at about 6 years old. All right, this is Ann when she's in her Jackie O period. This is Ann in her hat period. Wedding in 1956. This is their officer and a gentleman period. And along come the bozos. All right, you'll see Tommy there's the last. You have Kathy, then Patty, myself, Kevin, and isn't he cute? Now, Patty and I have been torturing Tommy pretty much all his life, as you can see right there. And I happened to pick up an interesting picture as well. You know, this one kind of stuck in my mind. Now, I wanted to tell you in just 1 minute, you know, what it was like to grow up as the Walshes. And I got these slides, and let me see if I can go back. And I said to myself, you know, how could I put a little theme song together, something fun? And I was thinking about Gilligan's Island. You know, it's a 3-hour tour and all that. And I said, in that one, Patty and Kathy could be, you know, Ginger and Mary Ann. Tommy and I could be the skipper and Gilligan, or vice versa. We know who Mr. and Mrs. Howell are. You know, perhaps Ian could, where's Ian? He could be the professor. But anyway, I said, no, that's not totally right. And I said, what other theme? I said, well, maybe Dragnet. You know, Dragnet, I mean, nah, that was too serious. But then I saw this photo. Now, what TV theme song would you think about with this photo? Beverly Hillbillies. So I prepared for you a quick rendition. Now, let me see if I can go back. Again, we're going with Tom. Come and listen to my story about a man named Tom. A Dorchester boy, yep, really loved his mom. Then one day he was dancing at the ball and he met a young babe who seemed to have it all. And that is Quincy Gold, South Shore Prime. Well, the first thing you know, old Tom's a married man. Kinfolk said, family, you should get one if you can. Said, kids and grandkids, that's the thing that'll give you hope. So they loaded up the bus, and they got a bunch of dopes. Dopes, that is, kids, you know, what were they thinking? Diapers, skinned knees, adolescents, college bills? Welcome to the Milton Hillbillies.
Let's have lunch.
Everybody, Chris is going to be directing tables for lunch, and then we're going to have a few stories afterward. Thanks for coming.
Time on the lake, and a bunch of kids, I guess, off they go, having a picnic, probably on Mark Island, on Middle Lake of Wissahickon. And they all jump in the boat. They got to go back to the home, you know. And they get in the boat. The kids pile in, off they go. Then they go around this island and around that island. And Tom happens to notice there's some boat following him, going about the same speed. Yeah, you know, that happens. He keeps going, goes across by Birch Island, and he heads towards the Far Echo Harbor where he is. The boat's following him. Came right across the Broads. Tom pulls into his boat dock, and the guy pulls in right behind him. Tom's, what the hell's going on here, you know? The guy pulls in next to Tom. Tom shuts the motor off. The guy says, I think this one belongs to you. Tommy fell off the back of the boat. I never knew it. And drove off.
This is going to be a tough one to follow. Uncle Dick is going to tell some kind of a story. This is Uncle Dick Walsh.
Actually, I can't say anything bad about Ann because Ann's always been good. Tom and I grew up in 88 Elm Road, Dorchester. We shared the same bedroom all the years we were in high school. And you could tell he got to the dinner table before I did. We went to Boston Latin School together. Actually, Tom was a year behind me. And if it wasn't for Tom, I would never have graduated. Talk about the brain, he was the brain.
He did your homework?
I didn't do any homework. Because I played on the team and they used to give you a good grade. Actually though, a serious story about Tom and Ann. I didn't see a doctor for 50 years. I had the record. Because doctors tell you there's something wrong with you, that's their job, right? So I stayed away from doctors. And I broke my leg last winter, and all of a sudden, Tom and I went our separate ways. He went on to business, and I went on to education. And Tom started to call me every other day to tell me what to do with my broken leg. And because I wasn't used to seeing a doctor or anything of that nature. And Ian was right there beside him all the time. They even got me out of Northborough from time to time, which is very difficult to do. But I would thank Tom for all he did for me and Ian at his side all the time, because my leg got better, and there's Tom, and here we are. And we both made it to 80, and Ian will get there next summer.
Mary Glasser O'Neill.
You want to take it?
So, good afternoon, everybody. What a lovely party. Has this not been fabulous? Can you hear me in the back there?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll give you my best cafeteria voice. I am so honored to be here today for two of the kindest and most generous people I have had the privilege of knowing. They have been wonderful mentors to me, wonderful helpers. They had their children a few years before I had mine and showed me what it meant to be loving and caring parents. I don't think Ann and Tom have bumped into anybody they have known who they don't think is just the best. Their kids are the best. Everything they did was awesome. As the daughters-in-law and the sons-in-law came along, they too were the best. As all the grandkids came along, you're the best too. It's just a privilege to know people who are so positive like that. They were very kind, and I'm going to make a confession in this part of the talk. I know it's public, but you'll forgive me, I hope. So Ann and Tom had wonderful, you know how they love to go to Lake Winnipesaukee, and you just heard a good story about that. And they invited us to go with our kids, and we had twins, just like Tom and his wife had twins, and they were maybe about your boy's age when we visited, and there was a lovely screened porch. And Ann's kids, this taught me how perfect her kids were, because her kids had grown up in this place, they had used this porch, and it was beautiful. My kids, one day, playing basketball on that porch, they ruined every single screen. So I knew I learned a lot of lessons from Ann and Tom. Obviously, there was a little lacking in my parenting, and without saying anything to Ann or Tom, and they never said a word to us, we had to replace all the screening while we were there, so they wouldn't come back and be covered with, you know, the flies or the bumblebees that would come in. But Ann and Tom, truly, when I got married, my husband, who was born in Scotland, he was Irish, but is very enamored of the Brownings. He said, "Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, the last of life for which the first was made." So my wish for both of you, as you achieve this magnificent birthday, is that this will be true for you, that the best is yet to be. Happy birthday.
Okay, so what she's done.
Okay, I am going to just read a quick little note that was sent in from Will Keating, is an old friend of the family's. He was the executive director of the Nevada retirement system for many, many, many years, and here's what he said. He wanted to come here, but he couldn't come in from Carson City, Nevada. He says, 80 years of age, unbelievable. We remember meeting you in Sun Valley, Idaho, way back in about 1978. You both must have been older than we would ever have guessed. But then, I think we all feel younger whenever the four of us get together. Getting together has been a lot of fun for a lot of years. I can remember the four of us celebrating life all over the country. Let's see, there was North Carolina, Seattle, Hawaii, Michigan, Lake Tahoe, and on and on. Even Boston and Carson City. We would like to have joined you for this birthday celebration, but we're both afraid of the snow and cold in your area. We'll stay here at home and join in the daily rain dance, hoping that maybe the rain god will move a little of your moisture over to us here in the West. Joy and I wish you both a very happy birthday and hope that we can get together in the near future. Will and Joy Keating. Is my younger sister, Patty.
Hi everyone, I am the second oldest, and did I tell you I was 39 years old? Because I am. I have a message from Stanley and Edwina CU. Stanley and Edwina, Stanley was the executive director for the state of Hawaii, and our families have been very close over the years, and they wish they could be here, they can't, so they sent a message. Aloha, Tom and Ann. Can't believe both of you have reached the big 8-0. Edwina and I would have loved to help you celebrate your birthday, but guess what? We weren't invited. Ann, I hope you are still, you're not still wearing the bright yellow suit that you wore for 3 consecutive days in Sun Valley when we first met you. And Tom, you can keep all the money you stole from me on the golf course as a birthday present from us. Happy birthday, good health, hope to be invited to your 90th. God bless, Stanley and Edwina.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a message also from Peter Conley, one of our neighbors in New Hampshire. Tom, you old bastard. Happy birthday. He must like you, Mother. Now, I'd like to introduce Brian Gillis, who will do a note from Alan Dunn, who's in Florida.
First of all, if you don't like this, yeah. Alan and ended up. So, the couple was celebrating their 80th birthday and decided to go to the doctors. So, the husband went first, Tom, and all his vitals were great, and everything was perfect. And the doctor asked Ted, he had medical issues. The old man said he had to get up 2 or 3 times a night to go to the bathroom. But God was good to him because he would turn the light on when he got there and turn the light off when he was done. So Ann then goes in, everything's great, checks out wonderful. The doctor relays this unusual story to Ann about the lights and everything else, and Ann's response was, "That old bastard is being in the refrigerator again." The rest of the note is, we feel terrible for not being there to celebrate with you, but we'll be back in March and party with you then. Much love, Linda and Alan Dunn. Never said to be brief, and putting an Irishman in front of a group being brief, those don't go together. I've known Kevin since Little League Baseball and had the fortunate ability to have Columbine Road, Farragut Harbor, and other places be my second. And many times sitting across the table from Ann and Tom, and the door was always open, so it was great. And the punishments, like having to go and be part of the Notre Dame play because we got caught doing things we weren't supposed to do. That was a tough one. It was so bad that we went back the next 3 years and continued. It's tough being one of 6 or 8 guys and 60 talented young ladies. So, tough thing in high school. But every time we came back from an event, Ann used to say to me, "Did you meet anybody you liked better than yourself?" Now wait a second. Kevin and I, teenage boys, could there be anything better? Anyways, as time went on, that stuck in my head. I said it to my own kids when they were getting into their teenage years, and my son Brian looked at me, "What are you talking about?" But what I realized was, liking somebody better than yourself there is no better example of that than these 2 people sitting here. The love that they have for each other, the love they have for everybody in this room, their tremendous extended family, friends, and everybody. It's just an example of how much they do for everyone else and get that much more back in return. So as an example of a family and a couple who truly like each other better than themselves, thank you for that light, that beacon that helped the rest of us. And may you have many, many years as we come back and celebrate more birthdays with you. God bless.
That Brian, he keeps trying to get into the old estate, doesn't he? A message from Dan Fuss, and it's a poem. Dan Fuss is one of the best bond managers in the world. He works for a company called Loomis Sales in Boston, and a good friend of Tom's, and they worked together for a number of years. He could not be here, he was traveling. Maturity comes slowly, sort of creeps up. It takes time, starting as a pup. You're hardly aware of the years going by. Sometimes you look back and say, "Oh my." But you keep looking forward, undaunted by facts. Still as sharp as 37 tacks. So keep going, Tom and Ann. Pave the way so we can catch up with you someday. Happy advanced wisdom, Dan and Rosemary Fuss. Now I'd like to pass this back to Kathy.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy, the oldest. I am also 39. So I have a greeting from the Kerrigans, Jim and Marianne Kerrigan, who now live in Florida. And I remember growing up with their daughter, Kim. So birthday greetings from Jim and Marianne Kerrigan in Florida. Sorry to miss what is sure to be a great party, but know that our hearts are with you. In recalling memories of Ann and Tom, I recall the first day I met Ann over 50 years ago. We were in our 20s, enrolling our oldest children, both 4 years old, her Kathy and our Kim, at Columban Sisters Nursery School in Milton. We hit it off right away. We had so much in common. I remember coming home and telling my husband, Jimmy, that I had met someone who was really nice, and I knew we could be friends. but I thought she was quite shy and didn't know too many people. I would take care of that and introduce her around. How wrong one person could. Anne had more friends than I could imagine, and was always quite comfortable in any situation, never having a problem finding something in common with anyone to talk about. We soon learned of a legion of friends that they both had, and happy to say that they included us. We don't see them as often lately, but the feeling is still there. As we know, good friends are hard to find and harder to forget. Love and good health to you and the family. Jimmy and Marianne Kerrigan. Also, John Gallagher from Loomis Sales says a special hello, and Beverly and Jerry Lyons wish they could be here. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to say? So, next person to speak is my father, Tom.
Never in a million years. Thank you. Okay. Is this microphone okay? Yeah. Good. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you all for making this a very special day for Ann and me. It's great, really, to have in one place at one time our 4 children, our 7 grandchildren, and assorted in-laws and relatives and nephews and nieces and dear friends. Being 80 gives one a special view on life. Looking back, I remember 4 periods of my life. First, when I believed in Santa Claus. Second, when I didn't believe in Santa Claus. Third, when I was Santa Claus. And fourth, when I looked like Santa Claus. Actually, I've now reached the age where memory gets a little spotty. In fact, doctors now say that there are 4 stages of memory loss. First, you forget names. And then you forget faces. And then you forget to pull your zipper up. And then you forget to pull your zipper down. I was driving on the expressway not too long ago, and Ann called me and she said, "Tom, be very careful. I just heard on the news that there's a car going the wrong way." And I said, "One car? There must be hundreds." Now, the real star of this affair is Ann Walsh. Ann and I first met at a dance in November 60 years ago. It was November 13th, and I should have been more aware because it was Friday the 13th. But we survived that ominous aura of bad luck and had a great life. Now, for those who like this sort of thing and are romantic about it, the second Friday of last December was the 103rd Friday the 13th since that ominous date in 1953. Over the years, it's been a great journey together. Military service and business travel has brought us to all over the United States, Italy, France, Greece, Hawaii,
Ireland, and Australia. And for those of you who think it was wonderful of Ann to accompany me to all of those places, I want to tell you, I couldn't have gone without her. Life for Ann and me has been a very rich experience. I'm reminded of the saying that you know you are rich when having more money doesn't change where you live, what you eat, what you drive, or who you sleep with. Ann and I think back over those years in our lives, and we think of the words of the Athenian general Pericles, who said, "What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, it is what is weaved into the lives of others." And we've tried to live our lives that way. All of these years, Ann Walsh has been a good mother, a great grandmother, a great partner and lover. I think of the beautiful words of the Tommy Macomb version of the old Irish ballad, Gentle Annie. It goes, "Fair and lovely Annie, your gentle ways have won me. You bring peace and joy and laughter everywhere. Where you go, the sunshine follows. You're a breath of spring and winter, and my heart and soul are always in your care." Thank you very much for making this.
Hey everyone, I know everybody's getting tired of all these talks. So I'm Tom's grandson, I'm Danny and Kevin's son, and I just wanted to offer a quick toast and say a few words. You know, it's hard to feel qualified to speak on behalf of a man who I look to as the speech master. A man who taught me that you can go to school to get an engineering degree and still make a living off of becoming a public speaker in a business context. And a woman who spent many years teaching math and yet taught me that you can capture the room with your emotion. And I just thank God they both have a son who makes me feel comfortable to stand up and say a few words because I know I'll look less ridiculous in comparison. Happy 80th to both my grandparents. On behalf of all of the Walsh family, thank you for coming, and cheers. Cheers.
Enjoy yourself, everybody. The party's formally over, and you don't want me to sing the end of my Beverly Hills tune.